Okay, here we go.
Great. Hi, Mr. Lombardi. Thank you again for making the time to speak to me.
Look, the honor is mine, Miss Chen, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have to say that I'm glad that we can have this meeting, and I think I was a little pissed off before because some of your competitors have given me some numbers, which is totally insult for me, both me and the company. And I think previously when we're meeting together, you have asked some pretty good questions, and I like working together with you. So
that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And Mr. Lombardi, could you please just remind me again your reason for wanting to sell?
It's always the same old reason, family business. I think I am getting to an age that I think probably it's a time for me to enjoy my life around the business. I think personal wise, I am very proud that I have built a business that can run smoothly without me. So I'm pretty confident that right now it's a good time to sell the company.
That sounds good.
So why not let's talk about something that you're more interested in. What do you think that our company is gonna worth?
So I think your business is very valuable, and there's two components that are worth quite a lot of money in terms of your business. One is the brand. You have a very strong brand, and like you say, you should be very proud of being able to develop such a strong and unique asset. And then secondly, we also valued the future cash flows of your business using a DCF with the discount rates that we spoke about before. And so we've come up with a valuation of 29 million. And we would be happy to offer that price to you for your business. Yes.
So I have to say that I'm pretty shocked for this price. Are you sure this is for the whole valuation or just for the business itself? I mean, the cash flow itself?
Yes. I think we should spend some time and just go through the calculations, just so that we're clear on how we came about that valuation. But before we go through that, I was wanting to get your point of view in terms of how much you'd be wanting for the business.
Well, all I have to say that this is quite disappointing. 29 million it's something that's way beyond my imagination, I have to say. I mean, you have all the access to our operational data and financial data, so I'm not sure. The net cash flow itself last year is around 4.5 million. So if you're using valuation for that, it doesn't seem right to have not close to 30 million valuation for the company.
29 is pretty close.
Well, if you see that, I don't know what kind of approach do you use to come up with a number like this. Can you briefly introduce it?
Yes, for sure. So firstly, we based our calculation off the DCF first. And so we have the projections for your business for the 10 years. And we valued the cash flows for that 10-year period. And like you say, the initial first year cash flow, so closer to now, at time 1, time 2, it's about 4.4. And then eventually by year 10, it grows to 4.6. And that's the cash flows that we use. And then we use a discount rate of 11% for those cash flows. And after getting to a valuation for that, that's about 26 million. We then had an independent brand asset valuer to come value the value of the brand. And they initially came up with a value of 1.7 for the brand. And we felt that that was too low, and we actually went back to them and said, are you sure? We're sure it's worth more money than that. And they've come back to us with a maximum valuation of 3 million for the business. And that's the value that we're assigning to you because we feel that.
You're paying 3 for the brand and the rest for the business
itself, right?
Yes. So, what do you think about the growth rate of the business?
Mm-hmm.
I think there must be some differences for
Sure.
both our, valuation models here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been in the business for, God, how no,
Mm-hmm.
centuries maybe.
Centuries.
See how old I am right now.
Uh-huh.
So I have a pretty confident forecast about the future market in the Middle East and North Africa market.
Yes.
I don't know what number do you use, but it is at least 2% in this market. So
Right.
based on this evaluation, actually, I am getting a pretty. So one thing is I always am being conservative about valuation. So 2% of the market growth is already very conservative. I don't know what number do you use, but maybe you can tell me a little bit more about it.
Okay, that sounds good. So we have factored in a growth rate for the business. We've taken an average of the last 10 years of realized growth and applied that rate going forward. And that rate is 0.4%.
Well, that we have some disagreement here. So, Miss Annabelle, right? Annabelle. Okay, can I call you Annabelle?
Yes,
Annabelle. Your company is a prominent Asian player, which I respect a lot. But in case of regional knowledge, I just think that maybe it's not the best way to apply for a growth rate based on the previous 10 years average. Do you agree with me?
I think it's an interesting point of view. I'd be keen to hear a bit more of why you think so.
So right now the market is experiencing a robust growth around the North African and Middle East. Just see the population growth for the future few years. First, the population is growing at a very fast rate. Second, the average income in the North Africa and Middle East market is actually increasing. Of course, it's not as good as China or Japan, the East Asia, which we can apply for a 6 or 7 growth rate. But it's definitely not stagnant. I mean, 0.4, then we're basically talking about no growth. But the market is actually growing. So
yeah, I think that's a very fair point. In terms of market growth, 0.4% is definitely not flat. It represents a growth, particularly over a 10-year period. And I think this is also conservative. However, we need to reflect that the business is quite cyclical. So in some years, it does experience stronger growth, but in some years, it actually experiences contraction. And so the market is actually shrinking. And in those years, you have to average the good years with the bad, and that's how we come up with the 0.4%.
So tell me about. You have a 10-year model, right? What's the revenue for 10th years?
98.
98. That's pretty close to mine. Actually, mine is 98.9. So let's talk about cost. Let's talk about cost.
Sure.
What kind of cost growth do you apply for?
Cost growth, we've assumed a slightly higher rate, 0.44%, so it's slightly above the growth rate of the revenue.
Can you elaborate a little bit why is it higher than our revenue growth?
Yes, because as we see we feel that the market is starting to become more mature, and what that means is whilst it has experienced strong growth in the last 2 years, more and more competitors are entering into the market. And in particular, this includes low-cost competitors, and these guys are competing very aggressively on price. And that's why we've forecasted that costs will have to increase.
Okay. So what's the 10th year cost for your assumption?
10th year cost.
10th year's cost?
89.8.
89.8. So for the 10th year, we're actually having only 0.1 millions of profit, according to your
No.
estimation?
So the revenue is 98.
Oh,
Expenses
80,
are 80,
89. I see. Well, seems we found the differences here. Annabelle, please consider this. I think we're being totally open about our company. So everything you have, the data, I'm sure you can't miscalculate anything. But for the market, what I think is right is probably what's going to happen in the future in this market, given that we're the largest players and we have more or less a very strong control over the market as well as distribution channels. So for the valuation, the growth rate that you guys applied, basically I have to say I can't accept that. So we either can reconsider all those numbers and come up with a mutual valuation that both of us are satisfied, or I don't think we can, process this without, crossing the problem here.
Okay, sure. Thanks for the robust discussion around price. Just want to understand, is there any other factors that are important to you or you'd like to look at, or is price the only factor?
You mean the revenue growth, right?
Yes.
Actually, the revenue growth is not solely depending on price. Actually, the volume growth is one of the major engines for this as well.
Sorry, I mean price as in the price we pay you. So that's a result of the revenue growth. So ultimately, after we finish discussing revenue, we'll get to the DCF, which is the price that we pay you. But apart from the price we pay...
Well, that's a lot of things to discuss about. First, 29, you only talk about two major... revenue sources, the price sources, and you haven't even talked about the synergy, which I think is a common practice, within the industry. Annabelle, you're a prestigious banker. I don't need to, remind you of that. So I also like to know, what do you think of the synergies? Because in my perspective, I think you guys are pretty interested in this part, right?
Yes. I think that's okay. So ultimately, but all these drivers will go to price. So let's address your first problem first, which is the revenue growth. I think, as I understand it, ultimately our revenue projections aren't too dissimilar. As I said, that we had 98 million towards year 10, and so that's very similar to your number. And because of the effect of discounting, these later years actually don't matter too much. So whilst they're a bit different, it won't affect the valuation too much. And to the second point regarding synergies, synergies, we have not valued synergies in this project because we feel that synergies would be as a result of the hard work of whoever takes on this business, namely either our management or people we appoint.
Okay.
And what this means is whether we are able to realize these synergies or not is still up in the air, and that's why we have not included it in our valuation.
Okay. Then what if I tell you that are you sure your models doesn't include any synergies here?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have something to discuss about. I mean, no offense, but we do have some competitors approaching us solely because they want to leverage from our distribution channels within the region.
Sure.
And this alone, I mean, not counting on any losing share of the company, can get us a significant amount of money out of it. So if you don't think our distribution channel is that valuable, I mean, we have some serious issue here. So just let me know, what do you really think of the value of our company? Is it this synergy something not to consider about, or you really don't care about it?
No, we do care about the synergies, but we feel that additional work is required in order to leverage those synergies. And part of the benefit of those synergies is us investing money and our assets into trying to leverage your assets.
Okay.
But these gains are not given, unlike, for example, the cash flows that your business already generates. That's what we're paying for. That's the actual business now.
Okay. Let me put it this way. So I appreciate that you think that our company is worth something, but for me, this distribution channel, I've been putting a lot of effort in building it, and now I have to take it as an asset. So if the valuation is not including the distribution channels, then I won't say we're gonna make a deal out of it. So I think the synergies is something that if we don't solve in this negotiation, we're gonna solve it in the future, or else this just no deal for this. So to put everything just straight here, I think for the future growth, it's too low.
Sure.
Second, the synergy here, I won't accept it if the synergy is not included. And the third is the brand value here. We're gonna talk about the brand value.
Sure.
3 million, that's something that's a little bit low. Honestly, we have a company who's interested in us, who applied for a brand value of 8 million before, and I'm not willing to sell it to them.
Okay.
So I'm at least anchoring 8 million price for the brand value. So for me, altogether, for the synergies, I'm really just anchoring a normal price of the synergies here, and I think it's industry practice to take 50% of the synergies because together we're creating value. So I'm asking for a 50% share of the synergies created, which is around 6 million per year, and I think that's reasonable. And the discount price is around 37 million alone for the distribution channel. So our
37 million.
Yes. So our offer is gonna be 70 something. 70, close to a 79 million.
Okay.
Yes. So again, Annabelle, I'm a serious businessman. So as you can see my attitude, I'm open all my database to you, and in order for you to get a very accurate valuation, and in order to save both of our times here. So I'm just trying to get this done efficiently and fairly.
Sure.
So I've again put all my offers on the table. So that's my evaluation. I think this evaluation is not something to rip you off. It's reasonable, and every number comes with a reason. So consider this again, or do the math again. I think you will find all of these numbers make sense.
Sure.
What do you think?
It's very unfortunate. The price that you're asking for is probably over double of what I can pay. And it sounds like there's a fundamental difference in terms of the valuation that we respectively attribute. And for now, it might be better if we separate and just do different deals, meaning you should go to your other buyers. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave the offer open here, and if you change your mind, let me know, but I think our number is not going to change actually. Okay. So, okay. That's great. It's nice talking to you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. See you, Annabelle. Thank you.
See you.
Fuck man, the price is so different.
Really?